All right, so today I'm gonna have to weld some things in the shop because it's Saturday and it's the only time I get to actually focus because the phone doesn't ring off the hook. So I'm gonna do a repair for a guy across the street from me in my complex and then weld some shifters. This thing came around right over here and it cracked right about here at this bend. So this kind of flexes a bit, a little bit. Yeah, why would?
You're right. I mean, I definitely think that's what happens.
Somehow it flexes over here.
It's not originally designed as a go-kart motor. That's originally a CR motorcycle.
A what motorcycle engine?
CR 125 motorcycle.
Okay.
And you know, it's been co-opted for karting. But you had to do, you know, so they had to design a lot of things that don't seem to me to be particularly optimal.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out why your other pipe would have cracked right over here, that's all. It's got to be some sort of weird flexing that maybe the frame...
I think you were right.
So it's the same pipe, and this is kind of held on with a rubber piece over here, so there's really nothing solid supporting it in a way. So it can actually stress right over there, maybe. Does this have to be on a rubber bushing over here? Is there a reason for that?
Is there a reason it's on a rubber bushing?
Yeah, is it just sort of a vibration or something that doesn't go through? Okay. Interesting. Well,
What are you up to?
Well, I'm going to go weld some shifters and I'll weld up that exhaust pipe for you. Okay. See you later. So what happens is this exhaust pipe breaks and I happen to have a TIG welder in my shop and I'm going to go weld it up for him. So look at this crack over here. It cracks right where those little springs hold it to the engine. And I got a feeling that somehow this thing is flexing right at this joint over here and cracking, but it cracked all the way around. And I'm going to piece this back together for him. First thing I'm going to do is kind of get this in a vise and try to squash it back together so that it kind of lines up where it was. I think what's happening is it's twisting it and it's not doing it there. It's like this. That makes it worse. There we go. Yeah, that looks good over here. Right here. And we're going to just basically stitch this thing right together. I need to tack it in a couple of places first. All right, so I flipped this over on the other side. I'm going to just kind of tack this crack on this side too. Now I got everything kind of lined up the way I like it. And I'm going to go tack it right over here. What I'm doing is I'm cleaning up these welds because I want these pipes to look smooth. And this will allow me to see if I have any pinholes that I missed. If I see any pinholes in the weld. So you could kind of see right where the bead is underneath here. So I still got plenty of meat and it's smooth. The guy can paint it and it won't look that bad. All repaired. Little fun stuff for Saturday, huh? All right, while I'm at it, I'm going to weld a T5 shifter. I did a video on this before, and but with all the new technology, since I did that video, the videos are much clearer now. When I weld a T5 shifter, what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify the shifter and change the end on it, since I'm welding today anyway. What I do is I cut this end off right over here, I slide everything out, and then replace it with the new welded on piece over here. This way when I'm not welding inside against the plastic, and that damages things because there's a plastic pivot in here. So what I'm going to do is I, again, cut this tab off over here, slide the plate out so I keep these two tabs here, weld what I have to do on this piece, and then put it back together and then fuse weld the end over here. So once that end's cut off, I just tap it with a hammer like this. And it comes out. So we don't want to burn up this plastic piece over here. This piece too. So put that aside with all the springs. I'm going to put this on a chop saw and cut it so I can weld a different end on it. So these are what the fittings look like. And the fittings have a little angle on them so that when I weld them like this to the piece, I have a little shifter angle that I need for my conversion. And it's got a 1/2 inch 20 thread inside here that the shifter screws down into. Now sometimes I offset them a little bit like this, or even like this, depending on where I need to dial in the shifter location. So this particular one, I'm going to be welding like this, I believe. What I'm doing is I'm building up these corners here on this piece, so that when I grind it, it'll look really cool and uniform. I'll show you after it's done what it looks like. I got to build up the section with weld. And yeah, I did go to school for welding. I actually used to work as a welder years ago. Okay, so you can see how I can make this offset like this. It's got to be a little bit farther back than normal. So I fill in this gap over here with weld, and then build this up with weld over here. And then I'll grind this all down and smooth at an angle so it doesn't cut up the shift boot. But that's kind of what the offset for the shifter is going to look like. So this is what the weld looks like, all cleaned up and ground. And I'm going to go paint this and then put it back in the shifter. Okay, so quick reassembly is you take this plastic pivot, stick it on the shifter, put it back in. See, now the way I've got to reverse like this. Put the little pivot protector plastic thingy in there. The 3 springs and the top cover. Now these top covers have a little number stamped on. This is it's like a number 3 that goes towards the back. That's the way they are from the factory. You catch the 2 front metal folds with the cover, tap it in with a hammer. Then you're going to clamp it, put it in the press. So now I'll take these clamps, and I do is I want to have a nice closed gap over here where I can weld it and fuse it together. So here you can get a better look of the fuse weld. See how nice and even it looks. And that'll keep the whole shifter together. So this is my black anodized knob. What's really cool about this knob, I came up with this design years ago. This kind of duplicates the XK120, the 140 shifter knob look, but it's a hard anodized aluminum knob that I designed, and they come in later on with an end mill and mill the numbers in. So you have the kind of bright aluminum shine through the, the black anodizing. Looks pretty cool. So this is my finished shifter modification for the XK120-140 Jaguar kit I make. And this is a conventional, for comparison, shifter for the Mustang. This is how they look. Now normally a lot of people bolt on a stick to this piece and then kind of make a stick kind of move forward. But I like having it low so the pivot point is correct and it gives you a better shift feel to the mechanism. It feels better to me anyway. Please check out my old video on doing this. It's a little bit more detailed, but I just wanted to show you how I do the XK120-140 stick. since I was welding today. But that's it for now. Hope you liked this little video. Thanks for watching.